Very often I will have students come to me and go, I just don't know what the plan is in the middle game. I don't know how to progress here. And the good people over at Chessable and New in Chess approached me about recording video for a course. And that's World Chess Champion Strategy Training for Club Players. And I gotta say, it's a book that I immensely enjoyed. And what I liked about it was that it turns on its head the concept that I have a problem with the most with middle game books. I feel like most middle game books are just a hodgepodge of positions, but if they're not occurring in your game stemming from your openings, what's the point? Well, our author really focuses with the examples on foundational techniques like how to improve your worst place piece, how to exploit a lead in development, how to make the right piece trade, or in the case that we're going to look at here, honing in on a weakness. And we have here a game from Karpov from 1994. And with each of the problems, the first move is going to start the plan. So I recommend pausing the video, treating it like a real game situation. Give yourself a couple minutes here. And my thinking process has always been using what Think Like a Grandmaster Kotov recommended, which was view the position, come up with 3 candidate moves, look at the most forcing and aggressive moves first, compare the 3 moves, choose your move, and hopefully in the process you find that plan. So let's hone in on it here. So what is the weakest spot in Black's camp? And how can we further coordinate our pieces? Well, one of the things I learned by studying a lot of Karpov and Petrosian games is they don't like any pieces around their king. So one of the first moves I was considering was g3, but it does have the problem of dropping a knight in the meantime. So the first move by Karpov, if you haven't found the plan, everything comes together with it. Queen b3. This is such a beautiful multi-purpose move. It is piling up on the f7, which is by far the weakest point in the camp. It is x-raying on this bishop on b7, where a5 could undermine the pawn chain on the queen side, and it laterally defends the knight, so we can play moves like g3 to kick the queen away. Perfect harmony. Things are going right in your position when it just seems a single move ties so many things together. So worried about a5 being a threat, Black plays bishop a8. And now Karpov doing Karpov things, get the well-placed piece away. So now queen b8. More pieces on the back rank. Well, put that emphasis on the weakest point again. How can we further pressure f7? d6. It's a liability. Now rook f8. So now's the next phase of calculation. Look at the most forcing move first. Too often we miss combinations as we're playing fast time controls. You've got no pressure on you here. Take as much time as you need. Look at the most forcing move first. And what do I define as a forcing move? Checks, captures, threats. So in this case, the very first move that should be considered is bishop takes f7. Now go as deep as you can. See if you can find what Karpov played in the game. So, bishop takes f7 was played. And after rook takes, it's all about the theme of the pin. So let's fully coordinate the knights for the attack. And it's better to go knight e to g5, because knight f to g5 does not transpose, as black has the wonderful counter shot here, c4, followed by knight e5. And a lost game turns into a won game for the defender. So knight e to g5, very important. Takes, takes. Now for the harder part, because when I initially was calculating this position, I didn't see the solution immediately. But we've got everything we need here to get the win. It's all about the fact that that rook on f7 is paralyzed, but we've got two attackers not involved. How can we push black over the edge here? Rook e8. Now, we've got the big threat of queen takes f7 due to the pin. And black needs to do something about the queen in the meantime here. Queen takes d6. Most forcing move again to consider. Due to the pin on the rook on f8, queen takes. And after this next move, black resigned. Another beautiful move. Knight e6. And Karpov just showed a beautiful demonstration of exploiting a weakness. And that was the f7 pawn in this case. And one thing I really enjoyed about the Chessable course is there's an extra chapter at the end, which I haven't seen in a middle game course before, that invites the reader to share similar problems from their own games. And seeing this exercise, I'd like to be one of the first to offer a contribution. This was a game that I played in 2007, back when I was young and full of energy and would calculate fantastic combinations. So we've got the same theme of the weakness of the f7 pawn to exploit. So let's walk in my footsteps in this position now with the same thematic play. What's the first move of the combination? Well, bishop takes. Well, I have to give you black's move first, excuse me. Doesn't change much. Bishop takes e6. Now, there is some things to consider here. So knight d2 was what was played in the main game. But what's the problem with f takes e6? Oh, we could very well end up in a classical checkmating theme here. Check. If king f8, queen f7 mates. So knight f7. And hopefully you know this one, as the first time I saw it was in the Bobby Fischer Teaches Chess book with the smothered checkmate. So knight d2 was played in the game. And there are multiple correct solutions here. But I got a bit fancy. I said, go ahead and take the rook if you want it. In the main game, bishop takes e5 was played, but if knight takes f1, what did I see? Well, I knew that I would have compensation after knight takes f7. So we're hitting the rook on d8. And if knight takes g3, take with check. Most forcing moves, threaten the mate. And after knight takes b7, the attack continues. The queen's definitely getting into the position. And it's complicated, it's messy, you can't see it all, but looks like black's getting mated. That's good enough. So coming back, bishop takes e5 was played. So again, start with the most forcing move in the position. Let's protect the bishop with check. And now capture. My opponent took the rook. So let's push him right over the edge and get the win here. If only our queen was in a better position. Queen e6. And the greedy queen takes a3 was played. Now white to play and win. Queen f6, you can have the rook because bishop takes g6, followed by queen f7 is mate. So I highly encourage you to join us in World Chess Champion strategy training for club players on Chessable. I feel it's a book that will definitely help club players, but I learned from it. I thought they're fantastic examples, many of which show that transition from middle game to end game and knowing when to make those changes in the position. If you treat this book the way it should be treated, going slowly through the problems and really trying to figure it out yourself, it's going to be a huge benefit to your game and your rating in tournament play.